Let's go right to the podium. Kevin Stefanski addressing the media.
You never reach it. It's just so there's always he and all of our players, and yeah, there's another level that he.
All right, we're good.
Did Denzel have to leave practice today?
He was limited.
Practice, but he was limited.
He was limited.
Is this, you guys haven't had a ton of playoff experience. Does it feel different during the week when you're preparing for a playoff game in practice?
It shouldn't. These weeks are, that's part of the messaging of these games. You understand that it's a one-game season, but you also have to go back to your process and go back to what got you there and go back to your preparation. So much of this week has felt very normal in that regard.
With Martin and with Greg, if it comes down to those two guys, how well have they both been playing for you?
Yeah, have given us great reps. MJ throughout the season, has been outstanding. Greg playing inside and outside has been outstanding. So really pleased with where those guys are.
Earlier today, Scott Peters said that he expected both pass rushers for Houston to play. Mm-hmm. Turns out they did practice today for the first time in a while. Mm-hmm. So does the uncertainty at all, how does it affect your preparation?
Well, they're very, very good edge rushers. I have a ton of respect for how they play. They're tough. So it's going to be a tough battle regardless of who's in there. But you study all of their guys because you go into these games, you're not quite sure sometimes who's going to play, so you study everybody on the roster. You want to have a very good understanding of how each guy wins in their pass rush.
You guys have talked obviously all season that 1-0 mentality, but in this scenario, because this season is postseason is just 1-0, does that seem like it's helped these guys, especially who haven't been through playoff experience?
Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of how we deal with every single week, and because as you guys know, every game's a huge game, and every game feels like it's the biggest game of your life because it is. So we just treat every game as such, and we make sure we fill that bucket up with everything we possibly can from a preparation standpoint. So that doesn't change.
Nice for David Bell to come through with some big plays for you last week as he heads into a game where he's probably going to get more reps and time.
Yeah, he's done a nice job really all season long for us in his role. Obviously, as you know, there's only so many footballs to go around, so sometimes there's guys that do a great job for you but doesn't show up necessarily in the stat sheet. So he's a guy that we have a ton of trust in. He does what he's supposed to do every time. Okay, thanks, guys.
We good?
Yep.
All right, welcome into Cleveland Browns Daily. I couldn't hear myself. You're up. I can tell that now. We got a lot going on here. Are you up? Are you in? Am I on?
Yeah, I wonder
Are we on?
Did it get turned down, maybe?
You're on.
All right.
All right, there you go. All right. It's all over the place from an audio standpoint. We got a lot going on here. A lot going on in the sports world, but you heard from Coach Stefanski there. We jumped in that in progress. What you missed off the top was Stefanski saying that Denzel Ward injured his knee in practice today, and it was unclear if he would be ready for Saturday. There is also this from Mary Kay Cabot in terms of the in and out list, and Grant Delpit ruled out for the game on Saturday as well. You hinted at that yesterday. Cedric Tillman also ruled out for the game on Saturday as well. That was one we were going to be watching. Ford, Strong, Thornhill, Ward now on that list is questionable. Your reaction to the events of the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, it certainly would be a very tough blow. You're going against a team that is known for its ability to throw the football down the field, and you're going against a team that has one singularly great receiver right now in Nico Collins. And so you wanted to be able to have Denzel Ward out there. And now it's unclear. Denzel Ward made the Pro Bowl again this season. He's been elite for the Browns, and you're going to have to rely on, now you think about on the back end, if Denzel can't go, it's going to be Greg and MJ outside, and then it's going to be Cam Mitchell in the slot when you go into your nickel looks. So you could be without Denzel. You're without Delpit. Thornhill, it sounds like he'll be able to go, but is he going to be limited? We don't know on a snap count. So you could be without, 3 of your top 5 on the back end. This is not the game, obviously, you want to lose Denzel. And then the flip side is, on the other side of things, is Houston's getting great news. Jonathan Grenard and Will Anderson both returned to practice. They combined for 19.5 sacks this year. Grenard got injured early in the first meeting. Anderson did not play in the first meeting. And so you think about those two, that's the danger for the Browns is can our tackles hold up against their pass rushing, their edges. And so that they got great news there. We got not good news here with Denzel Ward because obviously Friday injuries that happen in practice, a Friday downgrade, that is not typically a good thing. Now we'll see if he's able to get through it, and that's certainly what you would want if you're the Cleveland Browns for Denzel Ward to be okay, but something that certainly bears watching and is not insignificant.
No, not at all. And I think you're out there driving around and you hear this news and you say, how the hell do you get hurt on a practice 2 days from a game? I mean, how does that happen? I mean, that's the thing that's so hard to wrap your head around. I mean, what are these practices like? Obviously, they're not open, but what are these practices like? I mean, this would seem to be something where I can't imagine you even going full tilt at this point.
No, you're not going full tilt, but you're still going
anything
through
can
the
happen,
motions,
I guess,
and you're
and
running around. I mean, what knocked
anything
Grant
can
Delpit out
happen.
for a season?
No, that's true. Yeah.
Him, somebody throwing a ball, he jumped up
Jumped
to
up and
catch,
got it,
like,
yeah.
Not even jumped like 2 inches off the ground
Right.
to catch. So, yeah, you never know. But certainly a bummer for the Cleveland Browns if Denzel Ward's not able to go because you wonder, did the Browns have plans? Did they have some type of a Nico Collins plan that involved Denzel following him? And so that would mean you got all the week of reps, with him moving with Nico Collins. And so that's something that obviously you've got to change if that was the case. If not, if it was just typical boundary field, you would be dealing with that. But for the Browns, what's gonna happen? What's gonna come of this? This is not insignificant, as we talked about. This is a serious situation because of the nature of the opponent, the fact that they are pass heavy, and the fact that they have their number one corner. Now, the good news is, as I said before, MJ Emerson's been sensational this year. And you look at Nico Collins at 6'4", 215. MJ, size-wise, matches up pretty well with him. Got to make sure he doesn't let him over the top. And so maybe you'll see if there's no Denzel, the Browns go to more of an MJ underneath, Hickman over the top of him, double team. And I still think that's fine. I would have doubled him even with Denzel, just because make them throw the ball somewhere else.
Yeah, the timing of it could not be. It's brutal as well. To your point, in that you were implementing a plan all week long, and I know for the folks out there, you say, well, this is Thursday, but from their perspective, it's Friday. So this is it. This was your last practice. You're going to fly tomorrow down to Houston, and then you're going to play the game on Saturday. And so you have prepared all week with the notion. And by the way, this is just to jump in. If you're just joining us, this is not to say for sure. Like, he has not said that Denzel Ward has not played. It's questionable, but this is somebody who did not have an injury designation all week and was sat out last week with the idea of let's get everybody healthy. Some of the things that we talked about all week long were the strengths that we had defensively fit against the strengths that they had offensively, and a huge part of that was the conversation at corner and the amount of options you had to be able to combat Nico Collins. You mentioned we talked a little bit about Ronnie Hickman over the top, the way they did that with Garrett Wilson in the Jets game.
Yep.
And so that was always a chance that would be the play. And the other thing is that Denzel Ward's a top 5 corner in the league. And I think he's the best mirror corner in the league, full stop. And so when healthy. And so now you get this injury, and you're not going to have a chance to practice without it. That's done. You've missed that. So I'm assuming some of the practice today was done with him not in the mix. It was hard to tell from Coach when the injury happened, or he was out there and then obviously was questionable. So I guess when it happened would dictate what type of work they were able to do without him and to be able potentially to prepare without him. But that's significant news. Also, it looks like Noah Brown is warming up and he did practice in Houston today. He has been someone who's been out for a while too. He is not what Nico Collins is, but he had the propensity to have some big games. Had a monster game about a month ago. Was it in Indy?
He had 2 games over 150 yards, but in those 2 games, Nico Collins did not play either of those 2 games.
Right. Yeah.
So he adds, I think in 3 games, he has like 65% of his receiving, and it was all games missed by Nico Collins.
Yeah, where he slipped into that role. So they are getting healthy. You also mentioned from their side of things the return of their defensive ends, Will Anderson and Jonathan Grenard, both practicing today down in Houston and look to be good to go. How limited they are, what it will be, who knows. But they obviously are both dealing with injuries. Everybody in the league is at this point. But shocking to start the show with that today, because nobody would have thought of that coming.
Shocking and not great, not
Troubling.
ideal. Yeah, not ideal. You're going into this one. We already know how many people were down. The Browns' first team ever. Jake Trotter had this great stat from ESPN. First team ever to make the playoffs losing their week 1 starting quarterback, running back, right tackle, and left tackle. And now you add potentially, your number 1 corner there. Not the warm and fuzzies you were looking for.
No.
Now you have depth at that position, thank goodness. Cam Mitchell's played very well when called upon in that slot role, and then we know MJ and Greg have been very, very good. But this is a defense that it is more than twice as likely to give up a passing touchdown this season when Denzel Ward is off the field rather than when he is on it. So it's a significant one, and hopefully it's only Thursday. We've got 2 days.
Yeah.
To figure out and to get this thing right.
So you guys are flying like early afternoon tomorrow down there. 1:40 tomorrow will be the flight down to Houston. So from Denzel's perspective, I'm assuming it would be treatment and rehab, all of those things to be in a good spot to be on a plane. And then you got until kick, 4:30 Sunday afternoon to be able to be all the way right for this thing. But some very, very big news right out of the gates. By the way, obviously, unless you've been living in a cave in Burma, enormous news in the sports world over the last 24 hours or so, including the news this morning that Bill Belichick is parting ways in New England. So you have that. Another guy with Browns ties, Nick Saban, shockingly retired yesterday afternoon. He and Belichick, of course, on the staff here, and those images are the stuff of legend when you see the two of those guys embracing after a big Browns win.
I mean, I was doing a radio show in Buffalo for some reason this morning, and they asked me about it, and I said, I don't know that you'll ever see Saban and Belichick, icons like that who have presided over the greatest dynasties, in their sport, arguably, certainly in the modern era.
Yeah.
Back-to-back days?
Saban was yesterday around 5 o'clock.
Yeah, yesterday.
Belichick
evening
was this morning at 7 a.m. So it's 14
hours.
I mean, you had them both vaporized, and then they're both connected here, and so there is a lot going on in the sports world. You have a full slate of NFL playoff games as well, and we will get into all of it over the next couple of hours here on the program. But obviously the lead here today is the news from Kevin Stefanski. You heard it here off the top of the show. Denzel Ward injured in practice today and questionable for the playoff opener. That is the news of the day, certainly around here. Those are your hot topics of the day, presented by Vivid Seats, official fan experience partner of your Cleveland Browns. And also we have these lovely playoff boxes are in front of us. These look great.
We're doing unboxing.
We're going to unbox those things as we continue to go along. The Browns playoff box is here. Fans can register to win one of these limited edition playoff boxes. Log on to Twitter and go to @Browns, repost the Browns playoff kit giveaway tweet, and you are entered. It's that simple. The contest does end tonight. Obviously, a lot going on in the sports world, specifically in the football world. We're going to chronicle it all over the next couple of hours. We're off and running. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns, now live in Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And Pet Supplies Plus, a winning team. They crush the competition. Everyday low prices, more selection, powerhouse lineup of fan favorites like Purina, Pro Plan, and more. Great for dogs, cats, fish, and reptiles. Pet Supplies Plus is your MVP. We had the breaking news off the top. Denzel Ward injured in practice today, questionable for the game on Saturday. That will obviously be the headline coming out of here today. The headline coming out of the sports world came within a 14-hour period where you had Nick Saban yesterday afternoon at Alabama. He didn't officially announce it till later, but the reports coming out that he would be retiring and stepping down as a head coach at Alabama. I think he's the greatest coach in the history of that sport. I think what he did will be impossible to replicate.
Yes.
And then 14 hours later, you have the greatest coach in NFL history, 6-time Super Bowl champion Bill Belichick, doing the same. And they had a press conference in Foxborough around noon, I think is when it actually happened. Very amicable with both of them deciding to part ways and go in another direction. You mentioned this in the previous segment. Just from a seismic nature, I cannot recall anything like this in a 14-hour period. Or even in – these things usually don't even happen in the same week, let alone at the same time.
And not that he is on their level at all, but Pete Carroll's a very accomplished coach in his own right, and he was, within 24 hours, all three of them.
Well, and here's the other and all of them have done things that are absurdly unique. You bring up Pete Carroll, who that was probably the most surprising. Belichick least. Saban, yes. You thought that he's 72, like it was possible that the time had come. But the Carroll one, so you've talking about a guy who won a national championship and a Super Bowl. So the list of that, it's pretty short. Tim and Jimmy Johnson, Paul Brown did it too, not a Super Bowl, but a championship at Ohio State and then here with the Browns. But that's such a short list of people who have done those things. And he's done both of those, and then he was trumped by Saban. His news was trumped by Saban, which happened yesterday, which 7 national championships in college, all of them won on the field. None of those were poll wins or the Greater Tuscaloosa Football Club. Those were all won on the field, and he won 7 of them. A crazy stat about Saban, everybody who played 4 years for him won a national championship.
Wow.
Every single class that played 4 years for him won a national championship. If you played 4, you won a national title. That's impossible. It's just impossible. And will never be touched again. And then Belichick with the 6 Super Bowls. You think about how impossible all of those things are. I think none of it will be topped. It's possibly the most likely, obviously, there will be somebody else who wins a national championship and a Super Bowl. That's the easiest path. The other two just seem impossible mountains to scale.
It's crazy. I mean, from a player standpoint, it would be like as if, I guess because they're more contemporaries, but it would be like as if he's not contemporary. Jordan and Tom Brady quit.
Those are the two.
Retired within 14 hours of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and we did, and think about the last year, Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot that's happened in terms of people that were considered icons, pillars, certainly in the National Football League and in the football world in general. Moving on, it's wild. 8 openings now in the NFL, right? That is a quarter of the league has a new head coach opening. But Belichick, and I don't know if have you seen the trailer for that new documentary that's going to be on the Patriots?
I have not.
Their dynasty. Oh, it looks awesome. They've got everybody.
Okay, where's it streaming? Is it an Apple?
I feel like Uno would know that.
I think it was Apple TV.
I think it is
Apple would have the cash for that. Yeah.
It looks awesome. Amendola gives a great line. He's like something about we were coached by Bill, but we played for Tom or something like that. That one looks amazing. But yeah, this is major. I mean, this is iconic.
Yeah.
He's been the head coach there since when?
Belichick?
Yeah.
He was there.
I mean, they won in 2001, right?
He replaced Parcells. So Parcells would have been there through no. He replaced Carroll. It went Parcells, Carroll, Belichick, I believe, is the order of that.
So late 90s.
Because he was supposed to replace Parcells with the Jets.
Right.
And then there was that where they hired him, and he said, actually, I'm gonna go to New England instead. And there was that thing that kind of happened between both of them. He was obviously there in 2001. I was at the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl he won in 2001. I would imagine 99, 2000. I think he was maybe there with Bledsoe for a year before Brady, a year or two.
It's amazing. So it had to be 2000 because he was the assistant head coach defense of the Jets from 97 to 99.
Okay, so he was there a year, and then they won the Super Bowl in 2001, his second year when Brady stepped in for Bledsoe. But yeah, so he's been there since then. Won 6 Super Bowls.
24 seasons, 6 titles.
played in 9 Super Bowls.
Yep.
In that
Incredible.
time. Of the two of them, and of course they were here, which is crazy. So that if you kind of take this all the way back, and they're all kind of connected in this way. Pete Carroll was an assistant coach at Ohio State. He left in, I think, 79 to go be the defensive coordinator at NC State. Earl Bruce then hired Nick Saban to replace Pete Carroll at Ohio State. Earl Bruce then fired Nick Saban because Nick Saban stood up in a coaches meeting at Ohio State. Earl Bruce had fired an assistant, and Saban said, you need to just stay out of the defense. And Earl said, well, now I got to fire you too. So he fired Nick Saban off of his staff, which then allowed for Saban to go be an assistant coach with the Naval Academy, where he met Steve Belichick, Bill Belichick's dad.
Yep.
And so when Bill Belichick gets a job here, he hires him from Kent State to come here and be the defensive coordinator with the Browns. All of it linked in one way, and all of them out of the sport. I think 2 of them permanently. One of them, I don't know what's going to happen with Belichick. He certainly is going to have suitors, and I saw Schefter this morning saying Atlanta. That would make all the sense in the world, provided they had the quarterback and provided he still wants to do it.
Why would it? I don't know. That doesn't feel like a
Doesn't
Bill
fit
Belichick
right.
franchise.
It doesn't fit right to me either.
Like
to me,
Washington feels like more of a Bill Belichick franchise, like an old school, NFC East team. The Falcons.
He's 71 though, and the thing that I think would be for Blank's money. I mean, Schefter put it out there on purpose, so obviously that whether that is a signal to Belichick that Blank is interested or however, that their roster and their situation's probably the best, other than the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers.
The only thing they're missing is the quarterback, but I don't see Belichick working for the Spanos family. Blank would give him carte blanche. He'd give him anything he wants.
Yeah, but we want
But
Todd
they need the
Monken.
quarterback. I know we want that. But that was the one that was linked there. The one to watch for, I think, is, I mean, if something happens with the Cowboys this weekend,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Doesn't that seem like the perfect?
I think Jerry Jones would, if they don't make the NFC Championship game, I think Jerry Jones would be itchy.
Agreed. Yeah. So if they're lackluster this weekend against Green Bay, or if they don't represent the NFC, I mean, I think you, quite honestly, save for winning a Super Bowl, he could make a change
For sure.
Yeah, and that to
I
me
think if you
feels
go to the Super Bowl and have a good performance in the Super Bowl, that would feel
sure.
tough.
But he answers to no one.
No.
So
Right.
if he that to me feels like if Belichick is going to do it. And then the other thing that happened here, and I don't know if you saw this story from Diana Rossini in The Athletic about Vrabel, and that part of the reason that he was bounced in Tennessee is apparently his comments at his Patriots Ring of Honor induction rankled feathers with people in Tennessee and their ownership because he was so complimentary to the Patriots, and that is where that kind of that break started to happen.
Fisher?
That's it. That's the word I was looking for. Fisher. Good job at you finishing that. But that's where
We're
that.
not talking about Jeff Fisher.
No,
field
the
goal.
other one.
Yeah.
So that's when that started to happen. Was his comments at his Ring of Honor ceremony in New England? How petty! Are they the most petty franchise in the history of the league? You can't have baby blue.
On top
you can't
of the
use
uniform,
the
yes.
uniforms,
The
and now
answer-
this.
Yes.
Really? That's the beef, that he was complimentary of a team that he was a legend for and helped win Super Bowls, and
Like he played there.
I know.
It's not like he's like, hey, I heard this place is run better than the Titans.
No,
He didn't say that.
no, not at all.
He's like, I loved being a part of this organization.
Yeah.
So does this pave the way for him to go there?
So there was a lot of Jared Mayo stuff this morning, that they like Mayo a lot on that staff, and
Yes.
he'd been on that staff, and
he
it was
he
really
kinda
popular.
Told that he was the
guy.
after McDaniels, he was the next
Right.
in waiting.
I don't know. Like, would they bring Josh back to call the offense again for another run at that? I would think not. It's the
No.
worst job, for sure.
Yeah.
Other than the history and the ownership and all of that, I mean, the roster's there's nothing there talent wise. You're starting from
No,
scratch.
if that team.
All the rest of the places out there, every one of them else, you could make a pitch and say, hey, you're
Except
not that
for
far
Carolina.
off. Carolina, yeah. But Washington, Atlanta, Seattle, Raiders, Chargers, all those gigs, you're not that far off,
Sure.
But that New England one's that's a long ways.
If it wasn't the New England Patriots, if it was a team that had not done well, if
Yeah.
that was the 2018 Cleveland Browns, people would don't want that job. Well, 2018 we were actually not bad. We had some talent. 2017.
17 was the brutal one.
Yeah.
So a seismic day in the league, and it's in the world of sports and in football at large.
Unlike one we will ever see again. I mean, this is a one of one. The kings of their respective sports are stepping down.
Yeah, and the Saban to go to he built a $17 million house on Jupiter Isle in Florida, so he's good. Belichick feels like there's probably still a little bit more to scratch there.
I think he
wants Shula, right?
For himself, yeah. I think he wants that, and I think he probably needs like one more playoff run without Brady because it's been kind of a disaster since he's left.
Yeah. And I think that's when you kind of say, like, which one is you hate, this is a classic sports talk radio trope, but like which one is more impressive or which one was better. That's kind of in a way kind of that would be your trump card if you were presenting the Saban case, that the job he did was harder and a greater accomplishment, would be that once Brady has left, it's fell off a cliff once Brady left.
For sure. But I would say that the one thing about college is that you can, if you have a good program and you are a great recruiter and you are you have the ability to go into every game with more talent than everybody else you're playing. In the NFL, that just isn't consistently the case.
No, it's not. But quarterback is the one equalizer. And in order to do that, to go into every game with more talent than the team that you play, and this is a big distinction between him and anybody who's coached in the Big Ten in the last 20 years, is he did it in a snake pit. He did it in the toughest conference and the toughest division for his entire career. And so everybody who was in his division had the same resources he did, and many of them learned at his feet.
For sure.
Many of the people he beat.
But he is Nick Saban.
He is Nick Saban. Yeah, he is.
He is the brand.
Alabama. And he is the guy who, the crazy thing about him is he was there through when Urban had it going at both Florida and Ohio State, and Saban was there. When Dabo had it going at Clemson, it was Saban. And then Kirby Smart had it going to Georgia, and it's Saban. He was the constant the whole time.
Of course.
Never fell off. And to relentlessly recruit at that level, he signed 17 classes, National Signing Day classes. His classes never were worse than third. 10 times he had the number one recruiting class in the country.
Well, that's what I mean.
So he was able to, but the amount of work it takes to do that and having continual staff turnover. I mean, he had new coaches, new assistants all the time,
right.
But he was the constant.
Here's the thing. In college, you can recruit –
if you're great at it,
3 5-star quarterbacks. You could get a couple.
You get one
a year.
One a year at most. Yeah, you're not. Urban one time had two. It's almost impossible. Yeah,
but you're gonna get. It's not like you draft Mac Jones and if he's not good, you're toast. You got a 5-star in your program from before. You got a 5-star coming in.
Yeah. Whereas, to be fair though, the counter of that would be if you get Tom Brady, you can have him for his entire career.
Also true.
Unless you screw it up, you don't have to keep doing it. The best probably way to answer the question would be there are two people. If you think about who else could do what they did, there are candidates that are out there right now. So Mahomes with the Chiefs, they've won 2. It's hard to imagine. And Andy Reid's 65, so the idea that they'd win 6 more, it's impossible. Kirby Smart has won 2 national titles at Georgia. He's 48. To me, it seems more likely to me of those two comparisons that Kirby could win 3 more national titles or 4 more national titles over a 20-year period than it would be that Reid and Mahomes could win 4 more Super Bowls.
Yes.
So even as it's going to get tougher in college football with portal and 12-team playoff and all of that, because if you have the right juice, you can have a run. But both runs are just absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, who's the basketball equivalent? Like Red Auerbach, but that was so long ago. Phil Jackson.
It would be John Wooden in college.
Yep.
And it would be Red with the Celtics would be it, I think, for Belichick. Or would it be – yeah, because it's one operation. Red won so many of those titles with – it was Bill Russell, who was the constant. Russell won 10 of them with Russell. He won 13 championships. He won 3 with Bird. He won 1 with Havlicek. So I think he must have won 10 with Russell.
Yeah.
And that would have been the same with Belichick with the constant being Brady.
And Popovich is similar in the sense that they had a couple of different times.
Incarnations.
Different.
Yeah, David Robinson and Duncan were kind of Duncan was the constant.
Yeah.
But different versions of it, and they had to pull that off. But this is all-time stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you were to do, because people love to do Mount Rushmore, if you did the Mount Rushmore of the greatest coaches ever, period, full stop, Belichick and Saban are going to be
on it.
On it.
They're on it. Yes, they're both on it, and we were witness to both of them.
Yeah.
over the last 20 years. When it's been harder for both the NFL and college, it's never been harder to stay on top than it's been over the last 20 years, and they both did.
It's incredible.
Absolutely is. All right, coming up next, we'll be visiting with our good buddy Josh Cribbs. He'll join the program, get a little preview of the game on Saturday. In addition, he'll give you a little update on the Pet Supplies Plus Fund. That is coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, stop in Pet Supplies Plus in Fairview Park today, 2 to 3. Join the Pup Rally. Wear your best Browns gear for a chance to win prizes. Get your pup's picture with Chomps. Meet Browns legend Josh Cribbs, who we're going to talk to in just a second. For more information, visit the Browns Facebook events page. Pet Supplies Plus is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. They're hosting a Pup Rally all week. Fairview Park, as I mentioned, also Parma. Anyone wearing Browns gear to either store location will have a chance to spin the wheel to win Pet Supplies Plus prizes all week long. And for some perspective, you're down there, man on the street. Josh Cribbs, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, man, what are you seeing from give me a pup breakdown. What are you seeing down there from a pup standpoint?
Say that again.
Give me a pup breakdown. I want a pup scouting report. What are you seeing down there from a dog standpoint?
I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're en route.
I just got off of Jim. Yeah, I'm en route. Just got off of Jim Rome because I got this Flacco fever I came down with, and I've been sweating.
I love it. So you're en route, and so we'll get it.
Look at the pups.
We'll get the pups. We'll get a pup scouting report from you afterwards. You have Flacco fever. This has been a scene, huh, man?
It has been. It's weird for me. I played against him. I hated him. So, when all the fans are for Flacco, I'm on board now. It was, and this is a pun on words. I know we're off of Lake Erie, but I was feeling very eerie about cheering for Flacco. But after several 300-yard games and several touchdowns and wins later, I have quickly forgotten about him wearing a Ravens uniform. I can only see him in a Browns team uniform.
It's wild, right? Is this not one of the, the craziest stories that you could imagine, that Joe Flacco off the couch is the one who comes in, setting Browns records, setting NFL records, leading this team into the postseason? It almost feels like if somebody pitched this as a movie, it'd be like, yeah, that's not believable. And yet here we are, right?
Absolutely. And I was about to finish your words like, no, that's not believable. And as we talk about that, it goes along with this season. This is more than a next man up mentality. It's believe land. It's the essence of what Browns fans had to deal with year after year after year, of believing that maybe this time we'll be a good team. Maybe this time we'll go to the playoffs. You see that here. It's believe land. All the backups in, and they're performing amazingly, bringing Kareem Hunt back and him being very productive. And then the cherry on top, Joe Flacco. And we're 11-5. If you was to just look at our record, somebody looking from the outside in would be like, wow, they really panned out. I guess Nick Chubb went for 2,000 yards.
Oh, yeah.
The starting quarterback threw for this. Because you see what our stats are, man, if you knew who we had at these positions, it wouldn't line up to you.
No, when it's all been so improbable. And now, Josh, it's about taking what has been a very fun and an incredible story here locally and building on it and making a run in this postseason. When you saw that the matchup would be Houston, what did you like about it? What, if anything, gave you trepidation?
So let me tell you this. I was thinking about having a wheel and doing an Instagram, the wheel with any member of the AFC South on it to see who would we play, and then walking away because it doesn't matter, kind of like how Rock said. It doesn't matter who we play because it's the playoffs. And forget that we beat them again. Anything can happen in the playoffs. We just have to bring our team. I truly think that C.J. Stroud has been doing amazing for this franchise, for the Texans franchise. DeMeco Ryans amazing for that franchise. But it's our game to lose. I don't think C.J. Stroud versus this top-ranked Browns defense will be victorious because it's not C.J. versus Flacco. It's C.J. versus the number one ranked Browns defense.
You're exactly right about that. Now, some news today. Denzel Ward, sounds like he left practice, ended up being limited in practice with a new knee injury. He is questionable for Saturday. How could that affect things, Josh, if you don't have your Pro Bowl corner out there?
Well, I'm wearing his "Make Them Know Your Name" T-shirt.
I like that. Positive. Good. We need that
hurts.
healing juju.
Yeah, right. And there's a trio. We have a trio, and Andrew Berry did a very good job this offseason of stacking this team with valuable backups that you don't see a miss, because Denzel didn't come. He didn't show up too much last game. We didn't hear his name a lot because the defense, as they play as a team, and we have a trio. We have a Newsome who can go in and start. We have an Emerson who's a Pro Bowler himself. Let's be honest. So I am upset not being at full tilt, but we haven't been at full tilt the whole season. And although we will miss him, it's still no stopping this Believe Land next man up train called the Cleveland Browns.
And Josh will be out at Pet Supplies. Plus, Josh, you're headed to Fairview Park, right? You'll be at Fairview Park.
Yeah.
You'll be at that location.
Absolutely.
Additionally, the Parma location will be hosting the Puppy Pet Rally tailgate in stores today, 1 to 4. Pet Supplies Plus giveaways at the Fairview location. People can get their dogs' pictures taken with Chomps. Get a chance to meet Josh coming up here in about 15 minutes from 2 to 3. Pet Supplies Plus is also an associate partner of the Barking Backers. Barking Backers will be on site at the Fairview Park location during this next hour or so while Josh is there. Any fans who look to sign up their pup to be part of almost the 20,000 plus dog fan club, you can. It's all presented by Pet Supplies Plus, which is a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. If we are to continue the Believeland run and get into the second round of the postseason, which we expect to be able to do, what will be keys for you on Saturday, Josh?
The keys, I'm going to make it real simple. No chunk plays on defense. Eliminate cause a disturbance for C.J. Stroud.
Yep.
He's watched film on us. He watched both games. So we have to give him something that he hasn't seen. New blitzes that he hasn't seen. We have to come through in the defensive line, provide enough pressure so he can't scramble around and those receivers of his to have opportunities to create routes downfield, because that's what they specialize in. Mess up his timing. Defense do what they do, but offensively establish the run like we did the first game. Again, we have to come out refreshed and showing them something they haven't seen before, knowing that the last game, put that out of your thoughts. We have to go out there and win again like we've never played them before. And if we go in there with that mentality, it is us that have to play bad to lose this game. I believe if C.J. Stroud has a good game, statistically, we'll still be victorious.
Talking with Josh Cribbs. And Josh, one of the other things, the giveaways. If I was going to tell you we had all these injuries and we would lead the NFL in giveaways, you would say there's no way this team's going to the playoffs, and yet it really hasn't mattered. But I think if you want to go on a deep run, that's something that has to be cleaned up. How is that talked about? How is that discussed? And can the Browns kind of get rid of that turnover bug that they've got? Because if they do, it almost feels like not only can they beat everybody, but they could beat some teams soundly because we've been handing them touchdowns and points.
You're absolutely right. We've been making it a game. However, the one thing that happens when this defense is activated, they seem to activate when they're most needed. When Joe Flacco throws a pick, they don't flinch. They still laugh. They dance. They come together. I had an opportunity to interview J.O.K., Emerson, Newsome. They activate. And even in Joe Flacco's press conference, he said it himself. It seems as if they thrive when problems happen. This defense is that special. But turnovers, yes. If they eliminate it, this game suddenly becomes a walk in the park. But I expect everything. I expect issues to arrive, but more importantly, I expect the offense, defense, and the special teams, all three phases, to overcome, play as a team, and win together.
Yeah, and you mentioned all three phases. Our last trip to Houston was not a great day for our special teams unit. Bubba Ventrone, though, I think, has done a great job all season. When you go and play somebody where you have given up a big return, and that was the really the only return we've given up all year was to the Houston Texans. How does that get cleaned up? And if you're the returner, put us in the mind of Dameon Pierce, what are you expecting to see differently this time around?
I even looked at that, because of me being a special teams guy, coach, and what have you. I looked at that play. I rewound it, 13, 14 times. It was simply technique issues, two-gapping. It was poor two-gapping. Sometimes as a team, you can get lulled to sleep thinking that, hey, they're going to touch it. It's going to be a touchback. Or even if I mess up, my next guy has me. But sometimes you can't mess up your job. If I'm supposed to two-gap and drive my guy back, and as the guy come rip a violent shed to make the play, I have to do that and be sound in technique. I have no doubt in my mind Bubba Ventrone has made the necessary adjustments that this team on special teams will be flawless. They are allowed to make mistakes, but the mistake that they need not to make is that to give up a touchdown, and I doubt that ever happens for the remainder of this season.
All right, that's our good buddy Josh Cribbs joining us on the hotline en route. Are you there yet to Fairview Park, that Pet Supplies Plus, Josh? You got to be close, right?
I am pulling up. I am less than 5 minutes away.
All right, very good. Well, on social media, let's have I need a puppy breakdown. I want to know who looked good, who has good traits, those type of things. Maybe on social media you can give us one of those later. All right.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go live from there and just shortly, just so fans can get an experience and so they can rush out there to meet me.
I love it. The great Josh. Thanks so much for your time, buddy. Always appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, that's Josh Cribbs. He is at Pet Supplies Plus hosting the Pup Rally today, 2 to 3. He will be there at the Fairview Park location. Anyone wearing Browns gear to either of the locations, both that one and the one in Parma, going to have a chance to spin the wheel for Pet Supplies Plus prizes. That's all week long. The Pup Rally tailgate is today, 1 to 4. Josh will be there 2 to 3. Chomps is there as well. That's at the Fairview Park location. Pet Supplies Plus is also an associate partner of the Barking Backers. So Barking Backers is going to be on site at the Fairview Park location during our show that goes until 3 o'clock for any fans who'd like to sign up their pup to be part of the almost 20,000 plus dog fan club. It's all presented by Pet Supplies Plus, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. A very busy sports day. Will update you on those injury reports. If you're just joining us here, where we stand, who's trending in, who's trending out for both teams heading into the monumental playoff game coming up on Saturday. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. At your Parma and Fairview Park locations, what does that entail? What's that mean for people who want to go out there and get a little Browns fever and then also take care of their pets like they only can at Pet Supplies Plus?
Yeah, definitely. So all week long, both our location and the Parma location are having an event where anybody that's wearing Browns gear or their dogs are wearing Browns gear or they end up buying Browns gear here at our stores, they're going to get some freebies and they're going to get a chance to win spin a prize wheel. Where they can get some other prizes, as well as, at least at the Fairview Park location, they're going to be entered for a chance to win a $25 gift card.
Awesome. And I know you guys are hosting a Pup Rally tailgate in stores today from 1 to 4 with more Pet Supplies Plus giveaways. And you can get your pup's picture with Chomps. You can meet Josh Cribbs from 2 to 3. So it's going to be a party today at Pet Supplies Plus.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also going to be having events on Saturday as well. From 1 to 4, we're going to have some other games, some other prizes and giveaways. and we're going to have a blast.
All right, and then Pet Supplies Plus, also an associate partner of the Barking Backers, which will be on site today at Fairview Park for any fans who would like to sign up. So get in there, right? That's the thing. Get down to Pet Supplies Plus. You get to enter into these contests, wear your Browns gear, meet Josh Cribbs. So a lot of excitement there for people and everybody coming out to Pet Supplies Plus. We appreciate you guys, being a partner with the Cleveland Browns, because this is an exciting time. Playoffs, Pet Supplies Plus, pup rallies. Let's go. It's pandemonium.
Oh, yeah, we're real excited here.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for the time. Go Browns, and go to Pet Supplies Plus. Again, the pup rally all week long at their Parma and Fairview Park locations. Anyone wearing Browns gear to either store will have a chance to spin the wheel to win Pet Supplies Plus prizes all week long. So get in there. You can sign your dog up for the Barking Backers. You can get a picture with Chomps, meet Josh Cribbs. It's all happening at Pet Supplies Plus. Pet Supplies Plus, proud partner of the Cleveland Browns.
And Pet Supplies Plus is a winning team. They crush the competition, everyday low prices, more selection, and powerhouse lineup of fan favorites like Purina, Pro Plan, and more. Great for dogs, cats, fish, and reptiles. Pet Supplies Plus is your MVP. Oh, I'm just seeing this. It's a mailbag edition.
Oh, guys, he's already
Mailbag
prepped.
Thursday.
He's buttoning
Oh,
up
my
for the
gosh. He
buttoning-
fastens
he's
and
gonna
then walks.
Yeah.
Gets it all set. A little pop. Little pop. Oh, jeez. Diabolical. He's got this going.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh. It was a gorgeous blue.
It was.
It was
beautiful.
a deep royal almost. It
was
wasn't
deep.
navy. It was like
No.
more
Like
of a
an
deep
indigo.
royal. Oh, I like it. I like that a lot. Yeah, he looked great. Sensational.
He's right. It's playoffs.
Yes, running a
Playtime's
business.
over.
Playoff time.
Yeah.
You get messing around.
By the way, I
Yeah.
know that right now on the Browns Twitter, they're giving away one of these boxes.
You want to unbox them?
Should we maybe do a little unboxing here?
Should we do news? Should we do the update for the people just joining at the top of the hour?
Yes, because that's a big beat. That's
a
professional radio.
Yeah, so let's do that first. So as we came on the air at 1 o'clock, Kevin Stefanski was at the podium, and the big
and we took him live.
We took him live, and one of the things that he talked about was the injury to Denzel Ward, and that he will now be questionable. It's an injury that happened in practice today. He will be questionable for the game on Saturday. That is all we know at this point. Everything else is kind of the way that we thought it would be. Delpit ruled out, Hopkins out, and Tillman out. We were hopeful on Tillman with the concussion protocol, but you don't know, so he is an out. Everybody else was questionable or in, was the way that it went today at practice. On their side of things, they had much better news on the injury front. You had Will Anderson and Jonathan Grenard both in practice. Noah Brown practicing down there as well for Houston.
Do we have their official designations?
I don't know that I've seen it. Have you seen it, Uno?
I can take a look for it and see if it's out yet.
Track it down. Track it
Beautiful.
down. So just update for those joining us at the top of the hour. So, yes, in addition to that, in addition to Josh Cribbs, who's at Pet Supplies Plus in Fairview Park, we have the Browns playoff boxes. And these, you can win these, right now?
Yeah, right now
so you can
on
get
the Browns
this done.
social.
So you go on the Browns social at Browns on Twitter. You repost the Browns playoff kit giveaway tweet, and then you are entered to win. The contest ends tonight. So anybody could win what we have.
Yeah, and I like on the side of the box, it's actually got some cool kind of phrases. Next man up.
Great looking
resilience. 1-0, grit mentality, still standing.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So what do we have?
It's very good.
Here?
It's a nice. It's a sturdy box.
Thank you for your continued support of the Cleveland Browns. Your passion has fueled our team, leading us to an 11-6 season and clinching a spot in the playoffs. As a token of our appreciation, here's some playoff swag, including a hoodie, T-shirt, and koozie to keep you warm and your drinks cold while supporting the Browns during this historic playoff run. Thanks to your unmatched fandom, we are playoff bound. Go Browns! That's a nice touch.
It's a very nice touch.
That's a nice touch.
It's nice. I like all of the way all of this was put together with the spray paint look and all of that. That's a win.
Some Cleveland Browns koozies, playoffs.
Those look
playoffs. And then we got
Can't
the T-shirt and the hoodie here,
nice hoodie
along
and a
with
nice
some
tee.
orange and white.
The
funfetti.
O's look. Oh yeah, those look good. The O's look like the Game of Thrones O's to me. You remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog.
Those
says
look good.
Dog Pound 2023 playoffs. So
That's nice. Very nice. It's a soft tee. In the hoodie appears to be soft as well. Very soft hoodie.
It feels like it's really going to just
NFL playoffs.
hug your body and keep it warm.
And so you can stack the dubs.
Stack dubs in your gear. Get this fun thing. You can win this right now. So
there you go.
At Cleveland Browns on Browns on Twitter. Check it out. At least that's where I saw it. I'm sure it's on every social media platform that the Browns are on, which is everyone. So there you go.
That's very good. Very nice.
I do like the icy white. I like the icy white helmet with a little bit of the drip on it. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, those are very strong. Have we announced what uniforms we're wearing Saturday? I know they're going to wear traditional blue over white.
We have not. My guess is
white over white or white over orange.
Yeah, those would be my guesses.
Yeah. There's somebody put up our record
in various ones,
which I always think is such nonsense, as if that has anything to do with anything.
No. I wonder if with those specialty uniforms, if you're allowed to wear those whenever you want now that you're in the postseason.
Yeah.
Could we wear the white out against their blue?
That would look great.
Look fantastic.
I know that some people, I don't know why, because like Bernie wore them all the time in the playoffs, but the white over white with the orange hats look great.
I know, but that felt like our uniform every week during some dark times that people aren't as happy about. But guess what? That's the past.
It's the past, man.
Live in the now.
Yeah, like
playoffs.
I know that there was all the excitement because of the orange pants, because of the Sipe era and the cardiac kits and all of that, and it's become really our most prominent look has been the orange pants, whether it's with white or brown over it. But like the Bernie era was white over white all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what that will be, but they will get that will be the uniform matchup for the game on
Just
Saturday.
so everybody knows, we'll be in the orange helmets. I don't know what it's going to be beneath that. I was just pontificating
if you could.
and curious if that's right, because you had to declare those things were all declared earlier. Like if the Seahawks made the playoffs, could they have decided, you know what, for this playoff run, we're going to roll our throwbacks?
College teams can do that.
Sure.
They can, like if there's a one-off that they like and they get hot in it, they can do it. It's a good question. I guess I've never seen an NFL team attempt to do it.
In the postseason?
Yeah.
No, we haven't. I wonder if it's forbidden.
It might be where you couldn't. I mean, like if you're the Bucks, you'd like to wear if you could wear Kelly Green against Creamsicle on Monday night, that checks every box.
It checks every box on every level.
It does on every level. It absolutely does. So these injuries, the Denzel Ward injury,
we don't know at this point.
We have no idea. We know he's questionable, and you got 48 hours to get right. But just from the plan perspective, you had mentioned earlier this week that what we did against Garrett Wilson, potentially that would be in play with Nico Collins. Potentially. We don't know. But we saw that work pretty well with Ronnie Hickman over the top, and essentially he was bracketed everywhere he went in the game against the Jets. If Denzel can't, you're losing the best mirror corner in the NFL. You're losing a Pro Bowler, borderline All-Pro type player, and so there will be an adjustment to that. The good news is it's one of the few places where we have a lot of organizational depth, but where the two guys that remain are both also elite.
Yes.
And then beyond that, we have a lot of guys who have proven that when the spotlight is on them, they've shined.
Yeah, Cam Mitchell's done a great job this year for the Browns and made some huge plays at huge moments. So I'm still hopeful for Denzel. I'm not ruling.
Yeah,
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying that he's not playing. I'm still hopeful, and I imagine that's going to ultimately be one of those. We'll test it out in the pregame warmups and see where he's at. But I'm hopeful. You got 2 days. You got a lot of focus. I think if it was something that was obviously big and or devastating, he'd be out already. So I think from that standpoint, it's good. The other standpoint is it's not soft tissue. Now that could be good or bad. But it's not soft tissue. It's not like he pulled a hammy. That's like if you pull your hamstring in practice on Friday, you're not playing on Sunday.
Correct.
So I'm hopeful that it may be just something felt in an abundance, an abundanza of concern, of caution.
Yeah.
You say,
what is the responsibility there from a team perspective? Like if, let's say this happened in the middle of practice, and I don't know when it happened or when it didn't. We just know that it happened at practice today. If it happened at middle of practice, like how much do you have to declare on that? Do you have to declare?
I think if you are unsure of his ability to play,
you have to
if you're not 100% he's playing, you've got to give him an injury designation, which is questionable.
Yeah.
Because remember, we've done away with the probable. You're either no injury designation or you're questionable. And I think some people I think you can still be doubtful and out, but
those are still, they're still out there as well. But so that's where you stand on that. It is a wild day in the sports world. We had the sudden retirement of Nick Saban last night at Alabama. In my view, the greatest coach in college football history. I think you could argue the greatest collegiate coach, period, ever, full stop, regardless of sport. I think what he did is the hardest thing that's ever been done when you think about how the playing field had been leveled in that sport through the years. And then 14 hours later, a guy who he was a defensive coordinator for here in Cleveland, being removed of duties in New England. You got the feeling that it would be a Bob Kraft decision with the head coach, and that Belichick had a contract, and if they would have him back, he would continue to coach the Patriots, but Bob Kraft going in a different direction there. In fact, he was quoted on the NFL Network today say, what's gone on here the last 3 or 4 years isn't what we want. We have a responsibility to do what we can to fix it to the best of our ability. And so that will be in a new direction from Bill Belichick. And it's the other major, there's a lot of similarities here, and it's crazy that they happen within 14 hours of one another, but the cupboard is completely stocked at Alabama with the way that they've recruited. Now, in the new world, everybody on the Alabama roster now has 30 days where they can jump in the portal and transfer out of Alabama.
They'll wait to see who the next coach is, right?
Yeah, for sure. Dan Lanning, who was the Oregon head coach, who was a GA there and was an assistant with Kirby Smart at Georgia, he was the betting favorite, but he committed to stay at Oregon today, so they're going to have to go in another direction, whether that's Dabo Swinney, Lane Kiffin, who knows. But they'll go in another direction at Alabama there. Not to say that Lanning was the only one that could have had that job. But
Did Dabo work there?
To me, he's an Alabama alum. The one thing is he won't do the portal. So he would have to, he's going to have to be a little bit malleable when it comes to his beliefs and stuff. But if he was willing to do that, he's an Alabama alumnus, and he's done all you can do at Clemson. And so he could go there and have all the money that comes with the SEC network and all of that. Be ready to go.
What about Todd Monken?
I can get Todd Monken anywhere. Love to get Todd Monken anywhere.
Anywhere.
Where can he go?
Every opening.
Anywhere with the Ravens.
Anywhere, yeah.
You tell me. I'd get him a job anywhere.
Send him to Pet Supplies Plus.
Fine.
Fairview Park.
Absolutely. Anything to keep him out of.
New team leader.
Yeah. Anything to keep him out of calling ball plays in Baltimore. I'm absolutely for. But the New England job it's a tough sell.
Give me a listen. That was funny.
It
was
was
funny.
A great line. He's got nothing.
You missed it. That was a good line, Gibby.
He's texting people. I don't know what he's doing.
Isn't he the one who walked in here earlier and was like, just turn your phone off?
I'm sure you're working. What are you working on there?
I'm drowning.
You're Why are you drowning?
No, you're not, dude.
You're swimming. You're fine.
Tall.
You're safe.
We're taping at 3.
You got big bees. We're swimming.
Taping going on. While we're taping that, Zagura then has to tape something else. Then we have a show tonight.
You know
we
the
have
cartoons?
a TV show in the middle of our radio show tonight.
You know the cartoons when you're
tomorrow,
when you
and
see
I got a 4-hour pregame show on Sunday.
When you see him swimming and they're backstroking and then they're forestroking and they're just spinning water up and down.
Yeah,
that's you right now. Easy.
I feel like he's.
I don't feel like it.
I feel like he's that guy. He's that guy on backstroking, and in one hand he's got an umbrella drink right
now. That's right. Yeah, sipping on that, splitting water. Too easy.
Yeah.
Having the time of your life.
Boy, that would just be great right about
having
now.
Your time.
We're like those the inflatable things on the arms like that little kids get to go swimming. That's what we are for him because it's like you got the big beats.
You're fine.
No, and I greatly appreciate the 4 people here, you two, and then the 2 Jacobs holding down the fort here as I run around like a chicken with my head cut.
Griff. How's young Griff?
Yeah,
Griff was watching bowling.
Griff was watching bowling earlier, dialing in some of those whoop right into the pocket.
Right?
Yeah, he was locked in. Well, he's got Jimmy
Bang Bang.
Jimmy Bang Bang's got a ringer that he's thrown down. A gauntlet has been thrown down for the Solon freeway lanes. So
do we have a date?
We don't have a date yet. After we've decided after this. Yeah, right. We're focused on the playoffs.
Please get through that.
Yeah, we're all focused on the playoffs. But then we'll do a live CBD from maybe the
from that performance.
Solon freeway lanes.
What? You just promised it up.
Yeah, why not?
That's how easy it is. What are you doing?
We'll do a reverse remote.
Yeah. Let's do a reverse remote.
There. Griff is there.
We'll do it.
Griff, are you there? No, I'm on my way.
Actually, you know what I would think would be great? If we do a reverse remote and Uno is the reporter on the scene.
Yes, Uno.
Uno on the scene.
We now head to Uno on the scene.
We go to Uno on the scene.
Yeah,
Uno, tell us what's happening right now.
Always Gaze. He's 1 strike away from the first turkey of the
what
day.
I want.
Yeah, perfect.
I used to do when I was in television, and the first time like one of my underlings would go out to do like a live shot, and so I was in studio and I'd toss out to him. I would always do this to just disarm them the first time. I'd always say, "Let's go out to Melissa, who's live at Doak Campbell Stadium. Melissa, tell us something we don't know." And they would always. Sometimes they would. Sometimes they wouldn't. They usually were scripted, so it would always fluster them.
Uno, what I'd like is for you to have a signature sign off.
I like it.
What was your sign off at BW when you were doing games?
I had a generic out cue that I had to do when I did games. So it was you're listening to Yellow Jacket Football on 88.3 The Sting, WBWC.com, and the TuneIn app, and then it was over. So very boring, but I could think of something.
Yeah, get working on it.
I was DJ Jazzy Jake at the Sting, so we can roll with that if you'd like.
DJ Jazzy Jake? How is this now just coming to light?
This is as good as Griff Day.
As it gets.
This is as good as Griff Day.
Back in my college days, DJ Jazzy Jake.
That is
I can see it. It feels right.
Very appropriate.
I think his sign off though is more going to be like, you remember Jeremy Schaap?
ESPN.
Yeah,
that's right.
I can think of something.
Remember that very well.
And it's funny if you were to say, give me anybody's sign off, any famous.
As soon as you said it, I knew
Jeremy Schaap would be the first person that came to my mind.
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah, that's the way it worked. All right. Kip with a funny tweet. He said, Gibby's fighting like the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark, and it's starting to rain.
That's sad. Only 2 monkeys.
I'm totally out.
2.
I'm out.
You? Sorry.
No.
You're slipping.
That's not how it works.
You're living your best life.
Not how it works.
I'm just,
man, woman.
I'm over here grinding, Gibby. I'm about to put in a serious shift for you.
Yeah, you're getting it done.
You are putting in serious work for me today, and it is gratefully appreciated.
We do have a mailbag, so there's time to get, and obviously a billion things going on in the sports world. The mailbag coming up here at the bottom
People
of the
may
hour.
Join us here in the next 15 minutes. I don't know. I'm not
hard to say. I'm not optimistic on that based on the events of the day, but I guess we will see. We will update you on all of that, and of course, everything that is going on in the sports world. We had, by the way, another declaration down at Ohio State with a pro declaration on that. So we'll get to all of that stuff coming up.
Oh, my.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And be part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Join Next Gen STM, presented by Ticketmaster, official waitlist of the Cleveland Browns. Be a Next Gen STM. Best chance to become a season ticket member in future seasons. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/NextGenSTM to reserve your spot today. There are 6 playoff games. Go ahead, tell the people. Do you want to tell the people about this, or were you just like the percussion?
I was like giving you a little drum roll. Oh, I had something that'll make you happy today.
Got my pen?
I was walking in.
Yep.
Who greets us when we're down there, when we're coming in?
Jay?
The great Jay.
The great Jay.
Jay looked at me.
Okay.
He said, I need a favor.
Anything you need. Kidney?
That's what I said. Fortunately, he did not reply with kidney.
Okay.
What he did say was, do you have any extra of the posters of you?
Oh, yeah.
I use that loosely of me. Terrible likeness.
Absurd caricature.
Right. In fact, it's so bad, in my opinion.
It's my favorite poster of the last 5 years.
That I was on a Browns poster. I don't have it up it's not even up in my house. It's as if it never happened.
I will get
Where
you to
are
sign
they?
it, and I will put it up in
I
my
would
house.
like to put, because I got the Hoff one signed. I would like to have that one signed by you and the one signed by Hoff, like right next to each other. I'm kidding. Yeah. So anyway, Jay wants it.
He said he was out sick that week. That's the only one he doesn't have. He's got both seasons. He's missing that particular one. He's just like, do you happen to have an extra one? So we came up here. We looked in there. I brought it to him. He was over the moon, overjoyed. He goes, anything you ever need, you let me know. And I said, Jay, when the time comes, I will let you know.
There will come a time. I'm sure that Jay
And
will be
that
able to
man
help you
can
with
get
this.
what you need.
Of course he can, yeah.
Hey, Kim, I thought about calling it a pretty big ask, but I figured we'll save that one for
Save
later.
the big ass, yeah.
Yeah. But right now, I mean, sometimes, though, it is wise to strike
like right away
while the iron is hot. Like,
hey, speaking of.
Yeah, speaking of, here you go. Do you like what you see? Well, how about this?
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So we have 6 playoff games this weekend. One thought, Gibbe?
One thought.
Let's do it.
This is a great idea.
This is like in advance. This is a Zagura Big B moment in commercial
sure.
break producing.
So, hey, look, we're
There's
all
been a lot
helping
of
each other. It's been a lot.
Reverse remotes, some reverse producing.
We've done some reverse producing. It's fine. Everybody's helping
I don't
everybody.
even know what that means, but okay.
Listen to the first segment of the show, and then you'll
know.
Then you'll know. Yeah, it'll all make sense.
That's right. You're welcome.
We can start with Saturday night's game. It's on Peacock. Currently, I had to get Peacock because I have DirecTV now at home on Roku, and they and Tegna still don't like each other, and so I don't have NBC. And my wife was like, get this done before you leave.
Oh, because she wants to watch our game.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a big problem.
That's a huge problem.
That is a huge problem.
It's been going on for, it's not like this is.
No, I guess I wasn't aware because I don't have that service.
At least a month, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the regular season was definitely still in play. It was a big Sunday night game, I remember.
So it's a DirecTV and local ownership of
Tegna
of NBC issue?
Yes.
Okay. So it's their
It has
beef.
nothing to
because
do
I have
with
it on the
KYC.
cable.
That's what
and
we
it's
have.
fine.
YouTube TV, cable.
It's safe.
Safe.
Nothing to see here.
I got no problems.
I got none.
Cut the cord, baby.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Or
we're going to be on a
just pay
plane.
for all
We're not
of
going
it.
to be able to watch this anyways. Dolphins visiting the Chiefs. Wind chills expected at Arrowhead Saturday night around minus 30. Kickoff 7 degrees.
This line has moved. Our line has moved, by the way.
Not for the better.
Yeah, the other way. I see that.
We're at 2. This one now is at 4.5.
Yeah.
In favor of the Chiefs. My one thought is, are the Dolphins healthy? Will they have Jalen Waddle? Will they have Raheem Mostert? And if they are healthy, can they run their style of offense in these unbelievable elements? Because if they can, I can tell you, I'm not impressed with the Chiefs right now.
They're not good.
And maybe they're going to turn up the playoff magic because
I don't think
Mahomes
so.
does it, but Kelsey's lost a step. They don't have a primary threat receiver. They've got Pacheco, who's good, but
he's not like someone you can just lean on and
no,
go.
he's not Nicholas Jamal Chubb.
No.
So I don't. I feel like whoever wins this game is coming out of this game to lose in the next round, but I'm curious. I'd like to see the Dolphins play well in this one because I think they actually, if they get hot and Tyreek Hill makes plays, they're the one team that maybe could knock off
Baltimore.
Yeah, even though
That's who they
Baltimore
would play.
handled them.
Yeah.
But early in that game, they were moving the ball, and that was without 2 of their best guys. So I'm rooting for I just don't know if they're going to be able to do what they want to do in this environment. I think it's going to be a very big test for Tua.
Agreed. I do think, though, that if Mostert plays, their style of play would work well in the cold. Tua just
and Achane.
Yeah, and Achane, yeah. So, I mean, they should be able to run the ball against Kansas City. I think what's interesting about the scores on this is, is Kansas City a touchdown better than anyone? And it feels like this is right for 17-12, 17-13, or 14-10. Kansas City hasn't ran away from anybody. in the last month. So, like, to me, I think it's going to be a rock fight. Won't necessarily be aesthetically pleasing, but it'll just be the Tua part of it. Like, can he?
He's going to have to make a couple of throws.
Have to make some throws.
And I think he's certainly capable of it. By the way, Gibbe, guess the stats. Devin Achane, yards per carry. He ran 100 times this year, so it's not a small sample size. Yards per carry, Devin
100
Achane.
carries?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 5.7.
Which would be good. His 103 carries went for 800 yards. He averaged 7.8 yards a carry, which I'm pretty sure is the highest in the history of the NFL for 100 carries. Yeah.
Yeah. So him and Mostert, like, they would have.
And it's always said, like, when it's cold out, the running game, you know where you're going. The defense is sliding away.
Yeah. The wind would be the only – I mean, Tua's going to have to make a couple of throws.
Yep.
But to me, Kansas City just isn't that much better than anybody right now.
Up next, guys, to Sunday, triple header. Could be a Sunday fun day. 1 o'clock, Buffalo hosting the Pukers. One thought, Bishop.
So, remember the stat we had last year on T.J. Watt?
It was like over a
touchdown.
Like,
when he's not there, it's a touchdown difference for Pittsburgh.
Their sacks, their turnovers.
It all goes to hell as soon as he's not there. Well, he's not playing. So when I see this at 10, I think, well, there you go. That's your operation. Now, this is going to be brutal weather-wise as well. 22, probably going to be snowy and kind of gross. But to me, this feels like more of a Bills coronation. It feels like this Steeler team, it happened a couple of years ago when they got in. And they went to Kansas City, got swamped. I think that's what this feels like to me.
And then a couple of years ago, they got in and we slumped them.
That's true. Yeah. So they
have a history of
They
slumping.
got a history of it. Yeah, they sneak in, they overachieve, and then they
get slumped.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I feel this would be the most significant upset of the weekend by a billion miles if they are able to win this game.
Yeah, it's by far the biggest score.
The biggest spread, but just even in
just
the terms of it feels like they have no chance.
Yes.
Truly.
No chance.
Let's see. Game number 2 on Sunday, 4:30. Packers visiting the Dallas Cowboys. 12-5 Dallas.
I'm excited for this game.
Green Bay.
Tyreek Hill returns to Kansas City. You've got Mike McCarthy facing Green
Packers,
Bay.
Yep.
You've got Stafford returning to Detroit to face Goff, and his wife not happy about the jersey ban.
I just think like she's been through a lot, so you be respectful. But like, why are you weighing in on it?
I think it's fun. I think it's great.
Yeah,
it just adds another little layer of intrigue there to what's going on. But
McCarthy's lucky this isn't in Green Bay.
Yes,
so I think that's a big part of it.
I'm excited for this game. I like the way Jordan Love's played. I like their young receivers. I think Green Bay is a little bit frisky. I think this is going to be a better game than we expect. It's ultimately going to be won, I believe, by CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And CeeDee Lamb's playing. He's unbelievable. He is
1749 and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's earned that 88 of the playmaker, and Des Bryant, who certainly wore it with great respect as well.
Drew Pearson before them.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I think you're giving Green Bay too much credit. I think we got sucked in like we've gotten sucked in a couple other times.
I'd say they were going to win.
I think Dallas boat races these clowns.
Gibbe. What was your record on the scores, Gibbe?
I just MC it, but I'm here to tell you.
This is your big
Dallas guy.
Yeah.
I just look at this game and I go, this game might be the worst game of the week.
No, I don't think that. I think Green Bay's pretty good.
Silly.
But we did guess the stats on Jordan Love.
Yeah, he has similar numbers to C.J. Stroud, honestly.
By the way, Uno's like, you never let me guess, and I was dead on all 3 numbers.
Uno looks at this stuff and pays attention.
Of course he does.
He's Uno.
Come on.
It's like,
of course he does. Jeez.
It's like asking me who wears number 69 for the Browns. Like, I'm going to have that answer.
I got it.
You might not have that answer.
No.
You do this show. Gibbe might not even have that answer.
But you got it.
Maybe Uno. We'll test Uno. Who wears number 69 for the Cleveland Browns?
Leroy Watson.
See? Gibbe, truth serum. Did you have that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No chance. No chance. By the way, there was a Rock and Jock picture that showed up the other day on my on my feed. No. Remember ESPN, the Rock and Jock?
Well,
of
listen,
course
I could see you covering it or being there or something.
No, I played against the Globetrotters. That's the extent of that.
Flew with the Blue Angels.
That's true. It was Jeter, A-Rod, Dan Cortez, Carmen Electra. Carmen Electra in jersey number 69. Of course.
Incredible.
But it looks exactly the same now. God bless her. She
Yeah.
does. I'm with you. I think Packers are frisky. I think this is the Belichick sleeper is Dallas. If this doesn't go well for McCarthy this
who's
postseason.
already hinted that there's a team who has not yet been eliminated that very much would like Belichick to be their next coach? I think it was Schefter or somebody said that already.
They're the only ones that it would be. The rest of these, they all got young guys or
Tomlin's not.
No, and he wouldn't go there anyway. So to me, it's Dallas is the spot. There's a lot of pressure on Double M.
Do you think he would want to do the Parcells? Just more Parcells?
They did that 30 for 30, the two Bills. I think they're pretty cool with each other, and I just think I think everybody's intoxicated a little bit by the Cowboys. When you go there and to cover a game and do it's pretty ridiculous. There's a Yankees, even though they don't have the winning of the Yankees.
They were America's team.
Yeah, and there's this.
We're the world's team.
We are, but the way that city, the star, all
of course,
it's intoxicating.
It's bigger in Texas.
It is. Yeah. So I think that's
the stars at night are big and bright.
They are.
Sunday Night Football wraps up a triple header.
I'm pumped for this game.
This
is the game I'm most excited about.
Up for this.
I like this one too. This one I'm
Los
excited about.
Angeles and the Rams 10-7 visiting the 12-5 Leons of Detroit City. Segura.
I'm rooting for the Lions. Straight up. I've always liked Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Cal guy,
they
wore
won a
16.
Super Bowl. What are the Rams?
The Rams already
won.
Right.
Gravy.
And because this was, you don't see this very often, where a trade was made where they basically swapped two quarterbacks. Now, obviously, more compensation went to the Detroit side of it. And the trade was today versus tomorrow.
Yes.
We're getting Matt Stafford so that we can win a Super Bowl today. Check.
Did it.
Did that. We're making this trade so that we can get a guy that we think is actually very good, Jared Goff, but then be able to build a team that we think can win a Super Bowl in the future.
Yep.
And so this is today against tomorrow, and now it's yesterday against today because that's where we're
Perfectly
at now. And I think I love this game. I couldn't be more excited for this game. I am
too.
I'm going to make beef soup.
I love it.
Hopefully it's going to be a victory beef soup. In fact, I have no doubt in my mind.
It will be, yeah.
And then get to watch this game, getting the fireplace all fixed up on Saturday. So I'm going to come home to this new fireplace. It's going to be great.
Oh, it's great.
So we're going to have a little bit of a fire. We're going to have a little beef soup, and we're going to have
watch some ball.
Rams Leons.
I love it. I love your plan on that.
Thank you.
I am rooting for that. I love Lion fan. They deserve to have joy in their life. It is a cruel twist of fate that it is Stafford that they have to play in their first playoff game. That
But it's
does
also
suck.
awesome.
It's all cool, but it's also a referendum on what they did with all of the assets they got for Stafford. Because this is gravy for the Rams. They've won the Super Bowl. They were not expected to be here. I remember you and I we were breaking down the season at the beginning of the year. We're like, I don't know what the Rams are trying to do.
Right.
We said that over and over again. I don't know what are they? Is this a playoff? Didn't feel like a playoff team for sure.
No.
How did what are they trying to be
McVay
here?
coached his butt off.
I would just watch. He did, and Stafford played really well. The only thing that I'll be paying
was
is a
quite
stud.
a nice pick.
They get him in the 6th round. Here's the deal: if it's 10-zip Rams, nervy building, nervy quarterback, nervy
Very
coach.
nervy.
It's critical for the Lions that they bludgeon them right away.
Yep.
They got to. I'm not saying you got to score first, but you can't get down 2 scores. I think it could crumble them.
Uno, you're on top of everything. What's the latest on Sam Laporta?
Please hold. I gotta look it up.
It's good. It's fine.
While he looks it
he's
up,
not doing
news
DLD.
while
He
he
wasn't
looks
with
at-
us.
That's true.
He wasn't with
DLD.
us in the DLD days.
The DLD
we can
days.
cut him
While
some
he
slack.
looks that up, Jonathan Grenard says he's good to go for Saturday.
Yeah,
12 and a
He
half
just met with
sacks.
the media 10 minutes ago in Houston.
Laporta was not at practice today.
Not good.
Well, tomorrow's for them is
For
the
them,
big day.
tomorrow will
Yeah,
be the
so
day.
today's their Thursday.
Grenard's good to go. Anderson's good to go. Listen, I want the best. Give me your best, Houston Texans. Come on down here. Give me your best pass rushers. Give me your best quarterback. Give me your best receiver. We're undermanned. Listen, you know why? Next man up. What are we? Resilient. That's right.
We're still
standing.
standing.
1-0. Grit mentality. Bring it on. Not afraid.
There you go.
All right, let's go to Monday Night Football to wrap
That's a
things
fun
up here on Super Wildcard Weekend. Philly, the Eagles, just a mess, visiting Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One thought, Ziegler.
I'm not sure either of the teams are very good.
I don't think either one.
I know the Bucs are not great. They've done a good job coming out of a dreadful division. The Eagles, they seem broken. Hurts looks lost.
Did you hear the Hurts update? He has not thrown a football since Sunday because of the finger.
So we're talking Marcus Mariota?
Well, I think he's going, but, he hasn't thrown it.
How do you know if you can go if you can't throw a football?
Yeah, so that's where they're at with that.
What about A.J. Brown?
I have not seen anything on that. He's feverishly typing into his phone, A.J. Brown. Get on it, Uno. He'll get it.
Uno's going. I think Uno's going places.
There's no question. And I'll support him.
Yeah, same.
Unlike some of our previous humans.
No sign of A.J. Brown at practice today, according to Twitter.
You feel like their defense.
Super Bowl hangover.
You feel like their defense, and I just don't think
they
Tampa
can't
Bay is
cover
very
anybody.
good. I could see them winning a gross game down in Tampa Bay and then getting bombed the next week when they would go probably to
Niners,
San Francisco.
Dallas.
Yeah. And Dallas just bombed them, and the Niners just bombed them. So it could be a quick situation for them. I'll tell you this. That's the least attractive of all of the games to me, for sure.
Buffalo-Pittsburgh is pretty.
Yeah, but I like a little bit of. I'd like to see.
Here's the thing: Buffalo-Pittsburgh. It's going to be snowing. Weather's not great. Josh Allen can throw you into the game. He can throw you out of the game for a little bit.
And I also would like to see them bombed. I mean, that's always good for me to see them bombed. I like that a little bit. So I'm pro them getting bombed. That game is that ain't great, but this is as good a Super Wild Card weekend as I can recall. You mentioned the Rams-Lions connections with all that is going on there, the cross-pollination with the Packers and Cowboys and all of the stuff that's happening there. Steelers-Bills we talked about. And then if the weather was good and everybody's healthy, Dolphins-Chiefs is fireworks. I mean, if I were to tell you in August you're going to get a playoff game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs, and I told you nothing beyond that, you'd say 42-38. Let's go.
I want it in a dome.
Of course. Yeah, I don't want it some nonsense snow, 30-mile-an-hour wind garbage. I agree. All right, there you go. There's your one thought. The Mailbag is presented by the Cross Country Mortgage Company. That's coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back. Mailbag Thursday, presented by the Cross Country Mortgage Company, the official mortgage partner of your Cleveland Browns when it comes to financing. They're always going to get you home. Visit CCM today. Equal housing opportunity, MLS 3029. Hello, Gibby.
Hi, boys.
How you doing?
Mailbag.
Let's do it.
Tweet them at Browns_daily. You have 8 minutes. We'll get to as many as we can.
Go.
Hold on real quick. Let me just jump in.
Yep.
Because
Come on.
it's important, and I don't know how it made it past any of us, honestly, but especially people dedicated to staying on top of information in that back room there.
Yep.
This is from 43 minutes ago. Ian Rappaport. Coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters that cornerback Denzel Ward was limited today with the new knee injury. I'm told he is okay.
How did we miss that last line? I mean, we've been on, all of us. Like, I've been on social the whole day.
I said all of us.
We followed the updates. We played Stefanski live.
I don't know why they wouldn't.
I missed that sentence from Rappaport.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's fantastic.
I think it's Thursday. Let's see how this all plays out.
Well,
but that is new information and pertinent information.
Good information.
And an upgrade from the way we've been talking for the show.
Yes, much better.
Ohio resident tweets at the show. Any recommendations for a relatively affordable honeymoon for a mid-20s couple? Preferably all-inclusive or no. I was looking at Puerto Vallarta and was only finding options that were $5K plus per person. Was thinking closer to $5K total.
Well, first of all, you can do that anywhere. It's just about the level of accommodations. You did Croatia.
Yep.
I did Bora Bora. It's a matter of, are you beach guy? Are you guys beach guys? Or are you like adventure people?
Do they want to be out of the country? Is that a must?
I have
they
no
can
idea.
go to like Puerto Vallarta, but like you can get a lot of places in the Caribbean. There's a lot of direct flights out of Hopkins, Punta Cana, and
depending on the time of year.
Mexico's the best for value once you're there.
For sure. Yeah.
The other thing I would say is you could get, and believe me, I know because we were just looking into this, you can get like a sick Airbnb, your own private pool in Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, and you could be able to do that, and you'd be under your budget for sure.
By the way, I was talking to the great and legendary Corey Kinder who put those boxes together for you and for
Very nice.
all of the people.
Yeah.
I go, are you going to Houston? Like, because he's usually there for the Browns backers. He's like, I'm going to a bigger Browns backer party. They want me going to Arizona. They want me to go to Scottsdale for the weekend.
Who?
To be a Browns backer party?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
The watch party.
Oh, that's fun.
I was like, well, congratulations, and if you need recommendations, Nathan Zagura will be your tour guide.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
a
weekend.
good. What is our temp in Scottsdale this weekend?
I don't know, but I can tell you tomorrow night in Houston, it's 38 degrees.
I mean, it's cold everywhere.
Yeah, not great.
Which is better than like 2, which it'll be here. But
no, that's when we get home.
Yeah. By the way, did you guys see, just from the world of sport, do you see who's back on the McAfee show today?
Rodgers back
today.
Well, that's because they're off ESPN. They were off ESPN today because of all the Saban stuff.
The Belichick
So Paradise
stuff
Valley 60-63.
No, he was on ESPN.
He was.
Oh, he's
on
on
ESPN,
major.
yeah.
So did they put it back onto ESPN after saying he wasn't going to be?
Yep. After the Belichick and Robert Kraft press conference, they sent it over to McAfee, and he was on just about the start of CBD here today.
Did he do the politics stuff, or did they do football?
Football.
I couldn't actually hear, but yeah,
Okay.
I think it was football.
Okay.
I think they were planning on a Belichick and Kraft press conference, and they just read statements and left.
By the way, the National Weather Service has just said that the wind chill in Kansas City Saturday night will be, quote, dangerously cold. It is expected to be a wind chill of negative 30 degrees, making it possibly the coldest game ever.
Hey,
No, you guys presided over one of those last year at the holidays.
yeah. Hey, good news. Kansas City screwed it up, but this time it'll make sense. The windows don't come out in the booths upstairs.
Here's an idea: build a dome, put a roof on the damn thing. You got Pat Mahomes. Why would you leave this to chance? Nonsense.
From Tommy Kleko, your own personal favorite NFL playoff memory.
Well, you were at. You
I mean,
were
it'd
one
have
of the
to
few
be-
who were there
Yeah.
at ours.
Yeah, I was there. I mean, if you go back to my youth, it was being over at Billy Tisdale's house watching the Niners beat the Broncos 55-10 in the Super Bowl. Then I was live at the game. There was a great playoff game between the Niners and the New Orleans Saints in the early 2000s. Alex Smith, Drew Brees, and like a total shootout. Vernon Davis had a big game. But then, obviously, from the Browns standpoint, it's being there. I am legitimately one of the 1,000 people on the planet that can say they were at that game.
Yeah, unlike apparently the attendance for Red Ride 88 was 750,000.
Everybody was there.
Everybody I know was there.
I've never heard somebody say I wasn't.
Oh, I wasn't there.
No.
I was at Red Ride 88. Are you sure?
Right.
What was the attendance? A billion people? We're 1 million people there.
Good news. I have the ticket stub from my father.
Well, so there you have it.
I
Now that's verified proof.
That's proof that somebody had the ticket stub.
Somebody had it. Yeah.
I think I was 2. It wasn't me.
Favorite one I attended was the most surreal one was the 01 Super Bowl, Patriots against the Rams, the first one for Brady and Belichick, just because everything coming out of the 9/11, that was the coolest one I attended. But as a kid, I liked the Bears as a kid, and I remember being very young, and there was a Super Bowl party that my parents went to, and my dad was always a jerk, and him and all of his buddies liked the Patriots to kind of stick it to me, so that was pretty sweet. To be able to run down the stairs because I had to watch with my mom upstairs because everyone else was going for the Patriots, and so I would run down and yell as they pummeled the Patriots. So that was fun.
That's great fun.
It was a great memory.
Yeah.
Preston with a good one here, and we'll probably close it out with this. With this roller coaster of a regular season done, your highest high, your lowest low in these 18 weeks. I think the Watson thing is or Chubb.
I mean,
lowest low was there are a lot of them. So the first would be Chubb was devastating,
and we lost to those.
The emotions from the Sunday of Watson going 14 for 14 on the road, regaining all of his mojo, all of it, to beating the Ravens, to then being we can win the Super Bowl, which we still can, amazingly, but then the low of that, he's now out for the year.
Tuesday, right?
We found out Wednesday morning.
Okay, because I remember we left on a Tuesday. We're
this guy
surfing on rainbows.
Yeah, this guy is check your email.
Yeah.
I still don't think that's enough of a.
There's not enough there.
Yeah, you can give me more than that. Yeah. And then I did check my email, and I felt unhappy.
When people ask me what that show was like that Wednesday, I say I feel like I presided over a funeral.
Yes.
But the Chubb thing was devastating. It remains devastating. He's a hero. He's everything you want a Brown to be. But you knew immediately what happened, and you could prepare for it.
Yes.
In a way. Usually by the time you get to a Tuesday, you're like, we're in scot-free. Away we go. We know the roster. Let's go. So
we're worried about
came out of nowhere.
His ankle sprain. He didn't even know he had a shoulder injury.
No, it came out of nowhere. And that was
the highs would be Jim coming back for the Pittsburgh game and smashing the guitar and all that. And by the way, stay tuned. There's some insanely awesome Jim Donovan content dropping, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Spoiler. And then the Thursday night game. The Thursday night game was as high as you could be. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Agreed.
And we had individual games, the miss against the Niners, the touchdown late against the Colts.
This has been a magical thing.
Yeah. But that'd be my list.
Yeah, those are strong. That was I think the individual highlight for me was we were at the Jim game when he broke it, and that was also when Bootsy finally got to meet Chomps. So it came full circle. It was all the joy that you would want in the world. What's he doing?
Scarlett really sauntering.
It's a confident saunter. A real. Yeah, he's in a good spot. It appears
he's going down the stairs to go you're ready to go boxing or something. You got a
little bounce,
spring in his step,
a little bit of that. Yeah. All right, good job out of you and out of everybody on the mailbag. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And join Gerard and Z tonight, 7 to 8, Kevin Stefanski Show on the University Hospitals Radio Network. Coach and JOK going to join the show to preview the wild card game on Saturday in Houston. We started the show with the Denzel Ward news of the injury that happened today and him being questionable for the game on Saturday, and then we had this Rappaport last
saying
line.
that he's okay. I'm told he is okay.
So that's something to be monitoring as we head into tomorrow. The Texans getting healthy today as well. Both pass rushers back practicing and good to go for the game. So whatever their best is, you're going to get it in the game on Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow to preview it even more fully. The General will join us. We will also have Chris Sims on the program. Scores, all the other fun you expect. The next level is coming up next. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.